Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another exciting, hopefully, Minecraft discussion. This is Kimberly Quinn, and I'm here to have a chat with you on, kind of landing on that high-flying frisbee. This is Beaver Pond number 2. Little G likes this one too. He's not aware of his genetics exactly because he often doesn't notice the birds flying around, and I think he's just a peaceful creature. And he also prefers the shallow. Not a big swimmer and a retriever, so it's a little different, but we're not judging because he just likes to wade. Okay, so anyway, this is Kimberly Quinn. I already said, never mind. And I want to talk about choosing that high-flying frisbee. And my inspiration for today, when I was on the exercise bike this morning, is Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks was just talking about, and I listened to her. She's one of my teachers. She's a newer one of my teachers, but not new. It's been a couple of years, I'd say, maybe. And in and out, because I listen to Wayne Dyer and Oprah and just Aaron Doughty sometimes, Simon Sinek sometimes. Just a lot of really good ones. And then some more randos that have a brief something. But anyway, she often talks about this. And one thing I've been talking about outside of her, or in congruence with her, because I've taught it in Minecraft for years, is Minecraft is about being in alignment. Where our insides match the outsides, This is very important. And I think the visuals can really help. So for me, I picture myself, because the insides matching the outsides, I can choose who I want to play with. I think we forget that as adults. Like, kids are really good at that. Don't want to play with you. You're not sharing. Okay. Kid gets the lesson in about 0.3 seconds, and usually we'll play nicely, and then the kids will want to play with them again. Well, adults aren't always as quick as kids are. And, sometimes it doesn't mean on the scale of snark to toxicity that they have to all be toxic. Sometimes you just don't click, and that's okay. It doesn't mean they're a bad person or anything like that. Maybe you just don't click. Sometimes they're basically a good person. This can often happen in the workplace because work dynamics can with power differentials can change things. But it can also happen in your personal life, right? And just realize, I just don't want to play with you anymore. I just don't. We don't have to make a big statement. Remember, we've talked about in previous episodes about being quietly effective. This is the best way. You want to be a class act. And if the number one person in my life who taught me how to do that was my grandmother. Wow, she just did not react to anything. And of course, the more slow down of react is respond. That's deep breaths, in and out. Maybe you don't even address it the same day or the same week. At least slow it down for a few minutes, and then come back with a response. That's really what we want to do. So as far as the high flying frisbee, hey G, I picture frisbees. Picture frisbees up in there. It might sound a little out there for you, but it really worked for me. I think Abraham referred to it as a disc, but it's almost the same thing. I picture a frisbee because it's a little bit lighter, I don't know. And I picture myself, I wish I could show you, but one hand needs to hold the camera. I picture myself kind of doing like this aiming high thing. I picture myself up there in alignment. And the thing is, being aligned with our source, right? Capital S, being aligned, my personality, my signature strengths. And mostly what I picture is feeling really, really good up there on the disc, almost like surfing. And I do this as much as I can. And specifically, if there's something I know I have to address in that day, like if there's a meeting with somebody that, may or may not go well, don't know. It doesn't have to be a horrible something. It can be a horrible something. Even more so, you want to land yourself on that disc. And I make a conscious choice that no matter what happens, I'm going to bring success to everything I do today. It can, right from the shower, right on through the whole day. Every conversation to the best of my ability. When we set the bar, do our best, that's when we can always meet because we can adjust it, right? So I actually picture myself on this high flying disc, really, literally, like this. And this really helps because think about what happens when we choose the high road or the high flying frisbee. Think about who else lands on the frisbee with you, right? Other people, striving and being on, their highest vibe selves, their best selves. That's what we tend to attract. It's just true, right? The energy we put out there. So when we picture that, The important thing for me is to really feel good. Picture myself feeling good, even if it's a particular day where I've got something coming up that's a potential conflict or whatever. I just try my very best to separate from that. We don't want to focus on the conflict. We want to focus on the solution and not the outcome of it. That's very important. Not the specific outcome, but just the feeling good part that it's resolved, because source, universe, however you want to call it, knows what the best outcome is. So we don't really have to attach to that. We can just picture the feeling good, like, wow, I'm so glad that's over. Wow, I'm so relieved. Wow, am I past relieved? I'm actually ecstatic with, how this turned out. Who would have known? They would have started a whole new program to do blah, 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 blah. And I just breathe and feel that good vibe feeling. And we want to make sure we feel it to the point that it's not a surprise when it does work out, right? We don't want it to feel like a surprise when it does work out. It's an expectation, really, kind of, right? And just being on that high vibe frisbee, right? And so part of that, remember, is the thing I just mentioned too, is that part of that high vibe frisbee thing is I set an intention every day of my life. I think all of you know that. I do my whole little ritual with my gratitude journal. I do a walk, pray for the people in my life, send the good vibes out to them. And then last, none of this the whole thing doesn't take more than 15 minutes. I don't even think it takes 10, maybe 10, but that's it. And then I set an intention out loud, usually in the Jeep because I'm by myself. Or if I'm out here, I set the intention out loud. So the high-flying frisbee thing, and then I say, my intention is to bring success to everything I do on this day to the best of my ability. Bringing success to walking Giovanni in the woods, bringing success to the meeting with students, bringing success to the grading papers, bringing success to planning all sorts of well-being programs for Champlain, bringing success to doing a presentation at Penn State or wherever, bringing success to meeting all the new people after the presentation at Penn State or whatever, bringing success to making dinner and having dinner with the family, bringing success to the conversations at the dinner table with the family, tapping into each and every one of us and finding out how their day was and what's going on with them, bringing success to the phone call with my two sons who are living in Boston and Seattle, bringing success to the evening with my husband and just sitting and chatting and maybe even watching Harry Potter for the 400th time, bringing success to letting the goats out and hanging out with Hamlet, King Lear, and Caesar, bringing success to all of it. And this is what we're talking about, being on that high-flying frisbee, okay? Bring success to everything we do. In this way, we will attract the people we really want to attract, the people we really want to play with, other people who want to bring positivity into the world, other people who see the good in life mostly, other people who want to make a difference out there, other people who perceive the world as one big playground. Doesn't mean things don't happen. We all know what happens. It's on the news. We know what happens. We can also perceive the world as a big playground with tons of people to meet, things to do, places to go, or we can see it as, just an overwhelming cluster, right? And so when we're on that frisbee, we attract other people to step on our frisbee and be in alignment with us. Aligned people attract other aligned people. Same way that miserable people attract more miserable people. We all know that, right? The whole thing with misery loves company is a myth. Misery loves miserable company. That's it. Those of us on the high-flying frisbees attract more people like us, the high flyers, onto the frisbee. That's just how it works. All right, so be in alignment. That's it. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the beautiful Notch in northern Vermont. Have a mindful, aligned day.